He's an introvert, interviewing strangers from the internet, knocking down the walls of his comfort zone, one conversation at a time. This is the Gary Cantrell Podcast.
The Gary Cantrell Podcast, April 8th, 2020. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another show. In just a moment, I'm going to be bringing on my pal, Stefanie, at BibBelly on Instagram. We actually met at the Flying Pig last year, which was really cool, and we've talked at various points in between, and now I'm honored to have her on the podcast. But before we get started, I must give a shout out to my Patreon podcast producers, Kaitlyn, at Kaitlyn Elise. That is 3 Y's in her name, 3 times awesome. Vanessa at Vanessa Ray's Journey. Amanda at Mutts_and_Miles. And Morgan at DDPY Mama. These awesome folks helping to keep the lights on in this joint, helping to support the show to grow further and further and further. If you want to join this exclusive group, head over to patreon.com/Gary Cantrell. You can get the weekly podcast, this podcast right here, on Fridays. So if you're listening to this right now on a Wednesday, you could have early access to it in 2 days from now on a Friday. You get the higher quality MP3 on the private RSS feed. You get 25% off any merch item you want at the hardworkalwayswins.com web store. So many cool things to check out. Patreon.com/Gary Cantrell. You know, you just try it out for a month. See if it's for you, and if not, you just cancel. No harm, no foul. Also, just a very quick reminder, Apple Podcasts, iPhone, iPad, Mac, leave a review if you could. It helps us out tremendously. All right, with that being said, we're going to get to Stefanie right now. I'm going to dial her up here, see what she's up to, and I'm looking forward to this chat. I think she's got a very fun personality. I think it will play well here on the show. So bear with me as we dial her up. Well, hello there.
Hi.
How are you?
Are you already recording?
Well, now, if I remember correctly, when I DM'd you, you said you had not heard my podcast. So you would probably not know that, in fact, when I call, I am already recording. But
That's terrifying.
If you have some top secret stuff you have to say, I can pause it. That's no problem. But when I call, I'm already recording. That's how we do it.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. Oh, goodness is right. You nervous?
I am very nervous.
Why are you nervous?
Because I'm a nervous Nelly. I don't know.
All right. Well, I get that. I'm a little nervous at times too. Is it the idea of talking to like a couple thousand people? Is that the idea?
Probably. I'm going to try really hard to like keep it clean. No cussing, I promise.
Why?
Because I don't want you to have to put like the explicit warning.
Well, it's already up there. You know what? I'll tell you a funny story about that. Like at the beginning of this year, I just put it on there because I noticed there was like a few where I was just like getting fired up, and I just had to put the explicit tag on it. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm gonna see there. I said it. So now we've broken the seal, Stefanie. It's just like when you're drunk at a party and you don't want to go to the bathroom, and you go to the bathroom, the seal is broken, and now you can't come back. Right. So I kept the explicit tag on there like forever. So it's on there now. It is what it is.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
So I won't be telling my family.
You can say as little or as much as you want. It is entirely up to you. This goes wherever really you want it to go. Like I have the questions. I kind of know where I'm steering it, but like, I mean, we literally can go anywhere you want. I mean, it's fine.
Ooh, you have questions. Oh, no.
Well, I don't have them written down on a sheet of paper or anything. I'm not that prepared. You know,
Okay.
Honestly, because a lot of people, they think that it's all like prepared and stuff. And that's not it at all. Like I literally call you or I call whoever and I just start like talking.
Do they always know that they're going to end up on the podcast, or do you like surprise people?
Oh, no, they know. I mean, like, I would never record anybody without their consent or anything like that. Like, I asked somebody like, hey, you want to be on the podcast? Yes. Okay,
I'm
cool.
just kidding.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Literal Gary. Hashtag literal Gary. There you go. This is off to an awesome start. How about that?
Yay.
So, I mean, really, the whole point of this podcast, because I know, again, like you said, you haven't heard really very many of them. I'll give you a break on that because we're friends.
I listened to it this morning. If that makes you feel any better.
Which one did you hear?
I listened to both of the ones with you and Heather because I love her. So
she is tremendous.
Yep, she's my favorite.
She's my favorite too. So we have that in common.
Well, I'm gonna steal her from you.
You're going to, wow. Maybe she's got something she needs to tell me. I don't know.
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. But I mean, you know how it goes. The whole point of this thing is like, I talk to people from the internet. This is fascinating to me. As the intro says, I'm an introvert that interviews strangers from the internet. This is a way of me getting out of my comfort zone. Now, technically, we've already met once in person and we've talked a couple of times, obviously, throughout the DMs over the course of about almost 2 years, would you say, or a little less? Or what do you think?
A year, like a solid year.
A solid year, not just a year, but a solid year.
Yeah.
How did we even get connected anyway? I always ask this.
I saw that you visited Lexi and I used to follow her. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. A lot of people, I connected with a lot of people from that, if you could believe that or not.
Yep.
That was, that was good times. Okay, cool. So, and then we met at the Flying Pig.
Yes. With all those beautiful people.
Now, this is one thing we can talk about, right? And we'll get to your background and all that. I want to talk about all of this, but like, you participate in a lot of races. Now, is that just something that like you are like really passionate about, really into, or I mean, you just like to just travel? Like, what is it with the races that draws you in?
That was a New Year's resolution because I used to be sick and I think I told you about that. And I couldn't really walk for like 5 months.
Wow.
So it was like a struggle just getting to my car. And so once I like got better, I was like, you know what? I want to like prove to myself like how much I can walk and barely run, but still. So I did 14 5Ks last year.
Holy shit.
I wanted to do one for every month, and then I did just some like extra ones.
That is freaking awesome. Don't you love how goals come out of something where we have like a problem area? Like for me, a big problem area was walking up like a simple flight of stairs. And so I had a goal about 2 years ago that I wanted to get on that evil stair climber at the gym that everybody talks about.
I still hate that thing.
It is the worst. And
it is the worst.
And so, walking up one flight was death to me. You can ask Heather. She'll tell you, like, I sounded like I was going to literally die. And I gave it a few months and I was able to climb in one day 337 floors on the stair climber.
Gary, why would you do that to yourself?
Oh, I can't do it now. I don't know. Because that was like 2017. And then in 2018, I was training for my first 5K and I got off the stairs for like a couple of months. And then I revisited them in the summer of 18 and like I could do about 100, 120. And that was about it.
Okay, I can do probably 10, so I feel good.
Hey, 10 is an accomplishment. But now, that may sound simple to a lot of people when you have Daryl out there flexing that he can do 100 no problem because he's such a rock star. But 10 is a big freaking deal, man, because when I first got on, I could barely do like 5.
I call his 100 stair thing, 100 floors, the suicide pact.
The suicide pact. I love it. Now, I'm sure like at some point you would love to try the 100, right? I mean,
yeah. I just wish that my stairs at my location weren't at the front next to the window. So I'm just not about it yet.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So you know what? We should back this thing up a little bit though and tell me about your childhood, where you grew up, all that good stuff, how we got to the awesome person that I have known to and find on Instagram, and you ended up being very awesome. So how do we get to this person?
I'm from Utah, Oregon, and then mostly North Carolina for the last 20 years.
Okay.
With a brief hot minute in Arizona, which is disgusting. So don't ever go to Arizona.
I've been through there. I've never actually stayed there.
Yeah, don't stop the car. Just keep driving.
So how do you go like across the country from Utah and end up all the way in North Carolina?
Just my dad's job. It was either North Carolina or Germany, and we wanted to stay in the U.S., which is dumb. I could have like a free college education, but I could be fluent in German. But here we are.
Wow, that's quite a choice. It's like, hey, Germany or North Carolina.
Yeah.
Although I like North Carolina, I don't even say that as like a slight in any way, shape, or form. I like the Carolinas. I got love for the Carolinas.
I do too, but come on, Germany.
That's pretty serious.
Yeah.
What obviously you don't have to say where he worked, but what kind of industry was he in that you have big travel decisions like this?
It was a German company called SGL Carbon.
Okay. We can get specific.
Yeah, I don't care. So yeah, like we moved here, and then like within a year he was laid off, and it was, my parents worked a bunch of odd end jobs, and now we're here.
What age did you move to North Carolina?
I think 8 or 9.
Okay. So at that point, it's safe to say you're remembering stuff, right? I mean,
oh yeah.
And
I would hope so.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm trying to figure out like what age, like how far I can go back that I actually remember. I'm sure like if you Googled what age do you remember stuff, there's probably like a universal age, but I want to say it's definitely like safely.
5.
Yeah. 5, safely 5 or 6, whatever. So you get out there around 8. I mean, what is childhood like for you? Like, what are you into? Like, what is it like?
Oh, very indoorsy. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I would make up homework if there was anything to do outside. So
wow.
Rather be inside.
Introvert much?
Oh yeah. Like
Same.
battle of the books.
And what
I
was
don't know if that was around in your time.
No, I don't recognize that. But like, I mean, what was it about it that you think? I mean, obviously we end up being introverted, but like, I don't know that we necessarily know why, but fuck it, I'll ask you anyway. Do you have an idea why you might have been like that early on?
My dad's like that. Like my dad is a total hermit. Like he's not social. My mom is a social butterfly. So it's kind of, it's a weird couple to be around. So,
wow.
Yeah, my dad's a recluse, so I won't be telling him about any of this.
You're like, who is this random dude on the internet you're talking to on a podcast? What's that all about?
Yeah. But I can already see, like, my dad would just be like, "Oh, I love you, baby girl. You're on a radio thing. Okay, I love you." Like yeah. And then he'll go back to his room with a plate of nachos. So that's it.
Well, that sounds like a party, though. I mean, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, no, he has his own party of one every day.
So how does that work? The introvert and the social butterfly, how do they mesh well together?
Well, he loves her.
All right. That's how this works.
She does a lot. Yeah, it works somehow.
No, that's good.
Yeah, they're still together 33 years, so something's working.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And so, but you favored more his side then?
Yeah, for sure. Like he's artsy and stuff, so all of the kids ended up artsy.
But don't you have a public facing job? Like how do you handle that being introverted?
You definitely learn how to deal with people. Like I meet 200 people a day.
Wow.
And I get to deal with their personalities after they've been in line for an hour. So my boss tells me all the time I've come out of my shell.
Well, see, that's good.
Yeah. Like I have no problem talking to anybody now.
No, that's awesome.
I still don't want to go outside though.
You still don't want to go outside?
No.
You're not.
But I think that's just the elements.
You're not outside for this call right now, I take it.
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't do that to you.
Okay. Yeah, the background audio would be hell, but
yeah.
Well, believe it or not, you know what? What really would have got you out of your shell? I should have like made you wait until we could meet up and do this, and then made you do it in like a Starbucks or something. Now that would have been really trippy.
No, I would not agree to that.
You know how hard that is when I've done that? Because I mean, you know, like we've talked, we have a rapport, like I can talk to you easily. A lot of people I can do that with now, but like the first time you meet somebody, and a lot of times I'm doing that like from people with Instagram, and there are a couple people where I've met them in person, and it's like, you know, you don't want to be like the creep, like, oh, you know, I'll meet at your place, or you meet, like, you don't want to do that. So it's like, okay, let's meet at like a public place, like a Starbucks. Because people go to Starbucks all the time to do work stuff. I'm like, well, a podcast, that's work. But it's so weird because you have people walking by and they see the microphones and they hear you talking. And it's like, it's really weird. I should have said, you know what? You want to come on? We got to do it in person at a Starbucks or something.
Like you and Daryl doing it at the restaurant.
Yeah, that was really weird because we set up and a guy walked over within like 2 minutes. It's like, what's going on here? And I kind of like smartened him up. Like, look here, buddy, we have like a couple thousand people to listen to this podcast every week. So like, I'll give you a bunch of plugs. I'll make sure they know where this is coming from. And all. He's like, oh, cool. Yeah. All right, buddy, go on and do it. Yeah.
I remember you were like, this iced tea is amazing.
Well, that, and we told him like we had like, you know, I don't know, 20 people coming, and we were going to just, you know, ring the hell out of those registers all night. So I think they were cool with it after a while. If Daryl and I were just two random Joe Blow guys, and I had just started this podcast last week, and we came in with there with that, the guy probably would have said like, get the hell out of here with that.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, yeah, no, damn it. I should have, this was my opportunity. I could have like, you know, been like, yo, next time I come to like Carowinds or something, like we'll meet up, we'll do the podcast in person. And then you would have poo-pooed it. And I would have said, no, you got to like get out of your comfort zone and we got to do it.
See, and you already came to Carowinds and didn't visit me. I'm going to give you hell about that.
Dude, I was there for like 24 hours, if not less.
I don't care.
You could have came to Carowinds and got on a roller coaster.
I would have.
You would have?
I would have. Absolutely.
All right. Well, now we know for next time, don't we?
See?
I already talked to Tammy, the Fat Girl's Guide to Healthy Living. She's terrified of roller coasters, but I convinced her that she should ride one. So now when I come back into town, I'm going to hit you up. I'm going to hit her up. And we're just going to get one big roller coaster group happening. How about that?
Yeah. Like, we need at least like 20 more people, though.
Yeah, but I don't know how many people listening live specifically in that area. Like, I can tell you, like, you know, basic demographics, you know, different geographical regions, but not exact cities necessarily.
You need to make them come here. Just gather your people and tell them to migrate to me.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, listen to me very closely. Sometime around the summer of 2020, maybe probably late summer, knowing me and my buddy, because we tend to come there around Labor Day or that time specifically. All of you people need to go ahead and clear your schedules for like an entire month block of August to September. And the whole month, because I don't know yet. And you need to make a decision that you're going to come to Carowinds in Charlotte. It straddles between Charlotte, North Carolina and South Carolina. And you need to come down and hang out with Stefanie and me and Tammy and my boy Richie Drake and a bunch of other cool people. Maybe on my way, Kate, I'm sure she'll come back. Her and Kyle, my man Grip, maybe they'll come back down and we'll all hang out. How about that? Because she's terrified of roller coasters too. I did get her on one. Maybe I can get her on another.
See, that was perfect.
There you go.
I already got like 10 RSVPs.
We got 10 RSVPs already. All right.
Yeah.
Now I've lost my place. Where were we?
Oh, North Carolina.
Okay, North Carolina. Oh, that's right. North Carolina. The mother's a social butterfly. The father's a hermit. you lean more towards the father, but you work in a job where you got to be kind of the other way, and you're kind of coming into your own there.
Yes.
So what was, okay, so we talked about kind of like the childhood, you're always inside. High school, much of the same?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I was the little emo kid, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
I can
I
get
had,
down with that.
eyeliner up to my, like, the crease of my eyelid. Like, I had thick eyeliner, and I thought it looked good, but I know now it does not.
You know what?
Yeah.
The funny thing is, when I was in high school, I hadn't even reached emo yet.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't until after I got out of high school. I'm like, oh, great. So the one thing that was becoming a popular trend, I didn't get on until after high school. So people still thought I was shit all the way through high school. And then when I finally got out, people finally were like, oh, he's all right.
What, emo is all right for most people?
Well, I mean, back then it was like, it wasn't like fully formed yet. Like this was like, I want to say like spring, summer of 2000. So like, you know, bands like Saves the Day and Newfound Glory were like just starting to come out with their debut stuff. And they were starting to finally get a name for themselves. I guess the emo explosion didn't really like come into full swing until like 01, maybe closer to 02, if I'm being honest. But 2000, I was on early on that stuff.
I forget that you're older than me, man.
Okay, how much of an age? You don't have to say your age if you don't want to. How what's the difference?
Well, I'm 28.
Okay, well there you go.
Saying it.
I will be 38.
38.
I'm 37. I'll be 38 later this year.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, yeah. So you're like in high school in like 2010, 2009, somewhere in there?
Yeah, 06 to 10.
All right, so you're in like a different emo scale there. Like that's a totally different, like
different ball game.
You were like a little kid when my emo was around.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so there is a 10-year age difference. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, but high school, did you have a lot of friends or?
I don't know. It shifted. Like I had a couple of friends like the first year, and then it was like polar opposite. The last 2 years, I had a different group of friends. But I really like would sit with anybody at lunch. Like I was a floater.
Right. You were kind of the person that like anybody would like.
Or
like,
everybody hated.
Or okay.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, I got along with like everybody because I kind of just, I don't know. Like half of the group of people would think I would be a narc, and the other half would think I would be a goody goody. So everybody was just kind of like, meh, with me.
Okay, perfect. So you can answer this question for me because I was in a very similar position. I was the kind of guy where I wanted everybody to like me, or I liked everybody, and so you know that can be okay for a certain time. But then like the minute some shit goes south between like two different types of people, they're both like, fuck you. Cause you're not on necessarily their side, or you're just like, oh, I want everybody to get along. And they're both like, fuck you. Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's a tough spot to be in. We just really need to pick our side and just plant our flag in the sand, I guess.
Can I just be like in no man's land, flag to myself?
You could be on your own island. Yes.
Yes.
That's the thing though. Like everybody, like, you know, you try to be everybody's friend, but you can't be.
No.
And it like really fucks you up, right?
Absolutely. Like every time I've tried to make friends with like a coworker, it's messed me up. So like one girl actually stole like $700 on her last day. Oh and God. 400 of it was from my bags. Like I put my bags in the office where my boss will count them. And she went into the office and stole money out of the bags. And like I could have lost my job. And I was just like, wow, we were friends. Like we went out, like hung out together. And I gave her a ride home on her last day. No idea that she had stolen it from me.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Rochelle.
Did they ever catch her?
Oh yeah, they knew it was her. They got her on camera and everything.
Okay, so they got their money back.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
And they know you didn't do it.
Thank God. Because I don't know how I would have done life if they had thought it was me. But like she hightailed it to like Florida and her dad came in and paid it.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, she'll have to take that up with her father.
Yeah. And he still comes into the DMV and I just kind of like look at him like, get out of here.
Oh, so you're like, fuck this guy. Like, you don't even trust him.
No, because the whole family was all messed up.
Oh, well, yeah, that's no good. Fuck that guy. Yeah. I don't even know the guy, but.
Yeah. Just fuck that guy.
Yeah, I don't know. How do you even get into a job like that? Like, are you just like, this is what I want to do, or this was just a job that was free and you're like, oh, I could get in this place?
Well, I was a cake decorator for 5 years and like various baking jobs. And then my mom was like, hey, so-and-so that I work with, their wife works for this company, go and apply. And my dog is acting crazy right now.
I can't even hear him.
Oh, thank God.
Or her.
Oh, it's my little boy Fram.
Okay.
Yeah, no, so they just said, go apply at this place. And next thing I know, I'm titling cars and loving life.
Wow. And how long had you been doing the cake decorating?
5 years.
So that's your, I'm going to guess that's your real passion. That's like, in a perfect world, Stephanie's baking cakes forever, right?
No, because that is terrible on your knees, and I just wanted a desk job. So
okay, all right.
No, I want to be a lawyer.
You want to? Oh shit!
Yeah, so this feels kind of like an entry to that world because it's a lot of legal forms.
That is true.
So
a lawyer. So when you were growing up, you're like, I want to be a lawyer and like sue people and stuff or help people win stuff.
That's right.
Wow. Did you watch a lot of Law and Order?
Absolutely.
There you go. All right. A lot of Law and Order marathons, folks.
Yep. Law and Order SVU. Dun.
So if you were in a case right now, like you could do the final arguments, you could win that shit. You feel confident?
Absolutely.
I love it. So what you're doing now is your entry to that world. Now, I would imagine for the lawyer stuff, you got to like do school and stuff. Do you have any kind of school background with it, or do you have plans to do that, or?
No, because I went to culinary school, so I went for baking and pastry. So when I go back, I have to do like political science and then law school. So I'm going to have to start all over, which is, you make great choices as a teenager.
I can relate. I didn't even, you're already one leg up on me though, because I never even went to college.
Gary.
I'm serious. I thought I was going to be a rock and roll star, or an emo star rather.
Why aren't you?
Because I couldn't cut it. I could not cut it. So here I am at 37, almost 38, starting over as a podcaster.
You know what? Thank God though. You don't have that like educational debt. So.
Oh, I got credit card debt. So it's already, it is what it is.
I'm just trying to be proud of you, Gary.
Well, I'm just trying to be real with you, Stefanie. So I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. I played around a little too much. I thought I was, I said, fuck college. Who needs that? I'm going to play in a band. I did it for like 7 straight years and nothing came of it. And then I got into podcasting, and then I squandered literally every opportunity I had until 3 years ago, almost, when I started this podcast and finally decided, this is how you actually do it. Cool. So 13 years later, I'm still learning.
That's life though.
Yeah.
We'll be learning when we're 90.
I really feel like, if you're not learning, you're not going to grow. Like, I feel like you should always be learning.
Exactly.
Yeah. So like, when do you think you might like re-enter like, schooling and everything?
When I meet a very wealthy man that takes care of me.
A sugar daddy.
That's right.
All right.
The hunt.
Well, you better start swiping. What is it? Left, right? I don't even know how that shit works.
I don't either, but just keep trying. Every time I get like one of these old guys at the DMV and I see their address, I'm just like, oh, you live on Chaton? Oh, your wife just died? Hello.
How are you?
Yeah. You got 3 pages of cars and they're all Bentleys. Hello.
Yes, let's party.
Yeah.
I could bake you a badass cake, by the way.
Yep.
See, there you go. And I can title your car. And I can bake you a cake. Like, what more do you want from me? You're a catch.
Yeah. I hope they think so.
Well, there you go. Well, you're looking at the titles, you're checking addresses. You can start swiping, I don't know, left, right, whatever it is. I honestly do not know. That stuff did not exist when I was on the market.
Me either. To be honest, last time I was on the market, I was like before Tinder.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I have my buddy, Richie Drake, and he, that's a stage name, by the way. That's why I say the full name. And, he, you know, he all his life is the dating app. So I'm always asking him like, how does all that shit work? And I still don't know how it works. He's like, like, I don't know how it really works, but, you know, yeah. So, you know, when I was around, it was like, you know, Plenty of Fish and OK Cupid and that kind of stuff. But like, that was it.
Yeah. Those are still there.
Are they?
They're still terrifying. Oh yeah. They're the worst.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Why can there not, you know, for the single men and women out there, why can there just not be a thing where you click a certain number of boxes where you're like, this is exactly what I'm looking for. And then like there's a person of the opposite or the same sex, whatever your preference is, that has clicked the exact same boxes and they say, hey, look, you and you, it's on. Like you guys check off everything.
And then you meet and you go, I don't like you.
Yeah, well,
there's just something too similar.
It maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I couldn't speak to that.
Yeah.
So okay.
Oh goodness.
So we covered the high school life. We covered the job and the hunt for the sugar daddy with the Bentleys, right?
Yep. Gotta have my dog sneezing. Yeah, gotta have the Bentleys.
All right. Well, naturally, we got to cover the health is in there as well, because this is how a lot of us meet through the quote unquote weight loss community. Yes. So tell me about the health, and more specifically in terms of, you know, how long have you been dealing with health, you know, related, weight and all that stuff, whatever you comfortable with sharing.
Like my obesity journey.
Yes. No, tell me about that cough you had back in 97. I want to know all about that.
Oh yeah. Well, I did get pneumonia when I moved here.
All right. Yeah, we should dive into that.
Yeah. I mean, I was fit up until we started moving around.
Okay.
Like we used to be like on all these different sports teams, and then we moved and didn't know how to join any of these groups and things. And then moved out here, and it was just really like, no idea how to get active again. And I had started baking when I was little. So what are you doing?
Sorry, I was moving something on the desk. I apologize.
No, you're good. I was just like, there's a whole bunch of clicking.
The people can't hear that. No.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My bad.
No, you're fine.
My bad. Okay. So I don't know. It became like every time I was bored, I'd make brownies and I'd make like sweets and stuff, and then you'd eat the sweets. So I started becoming like a chubby kid.
Okay.
And that just gradually turned into like, I just didn't know how to eat. Like I didn't know how to eat properly until I was 26.
And you're in your home body, so you're at home a lot, watching Law and Order, practicing for that time when you're going to win the big case, 5-10 years from now. Got it.
And every guy that I ever dated was a chef from like culinary school, and like even my ex-husband is a chef. So
wow.
Like I never really even had to cook anymore. It was just like, hey, try this. And of course I'm going to be like, absolutely. It's delicious.
So they worked their way into your heart by cooking you amazing food.
Yes.
All right. So were you seeking this out? Like single girl wants to meet a chef.
No, I just got really lucky and I didn't have to cook. That was great. It was great for several years. It was great.
God, Heather's like, damn it. Why didn't I pick another guy? I should have picked a chef because my asshole husband only cooks, the easy stuff. That's me. I put in low effort. I'm not very good at it, but I'm starting to watch YouTube videos and hoping to learn a little bit more.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah. My whole thing though is I'll go in there and I just start experimenting with stuff. Like, I don't know if it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Like one time I made this macaroni and cheese last week. She gave me this weird look because I made this macaroni and cheese and I noticed it looked like it didn't have enough cheese, like the packet or whatever that comes with it. And so I just took like a couple of tablespoons of like queso cheese from the chips and dip, and I threw it in there. but like she didn't say it was bad, but she was just like, she's like, is there queso and like Tostitos queso dip in this thing? I'm like, yeah, it looked like it was lacking cheese. She's like, oh, all right. Yeah, all right.
I think that sounds amazing. But
it did not blow my mind. I will tell you that. As amazing as it sounds that it would be, it did not blow my mind.
Man.
I mean, it was all right. It was edible, whatever you want to say. It was okay.
Gary, I'm going to go make that now.
You're going to try that?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I bought the Food Lion branded macaroni and cheese. It's not the shells and cheese, because the shells and cheese, by far, first of all, is the best mac and cheese. And if you disagree with me, I'm hanging up the goddamn phone right now.
No.
Okay, fine. Good. You can stay. But
why would anyone disagree with that?
There are people, believe it or not, they're like, oh, now shells and cheese. Ugh. Give me Kraft. Ugh. You know.
Do they really classify as people?
Maybe not. I don't know.
No. No.
Shells and cheese is the best.
The best.
Undisputed, hands down. Fight me at Gary Cantrell if you want. But it was the Food Lion branded, just like regular macaroni and cheese, family size, whatever. And it just, for whatever reason, the cheese seemed like it was not like enough. Like I was stirring it. I gave it a good couple minutes stir to make sure it was even all around. It just looked like it was a little light. So I just took, just a couple of tablespoons, 2 or 3, bam, 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 mixed it in there a little bit, and boom, we were off to the races.
I think the mixing was probably the problem, though. If you just went straight queso.
Okay, yeah.
And shells, then you'd be having a party.
I think you would be, yeah.
So that's what I'm going to do.
There's a lot of like really healthy people that are like turning their heads right now, and I don't really care, but it is what it is. You guys know, the people that actually listen like on a regular basis, they know that like I am not the most conventional weight loss person. I like to do shit on my own terms.
Yeah, listening this morning, I heard your adventures with cake.
Cake?
Yeah.
What did you hear? Because I don't remember. You'll have to refresh my memory.
It was, you guys were talking about pizza.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, I haven't had breakfast yet, so now I want pizza.
Yep.
And then you were like talking about birthday cake and sneaking big slices back to your desk back in the day. And I was just like, my coworker just had a birthday.
Okay, for people that don't know, and I don't remember what episode this number was, but I had shared a story where at my job, we used to do birthday cakes for everybody. This is before we became like a gigantic company, and now it would be impossible to do a birthday for every time somebody has one. But back then it was like, 40 or 50 people tops. So every time somebody had a birthday, there was a cake in that break room. And so your boy Gary here would go in there, he'd get the piece of cake. When everybody was in there, we sang happy birthday, pulled the candles out, cut slices for everybody. Of course, there's always going to be some leftover because you have like the super skinny people like watching their figure, or people that just didn't want, sweets or what have you. And so there's always like, probably 10 or 15 slices left over. So ya boy would wait, until that room cleared out. The bathroom's not too far behind. So I'd wait maybe 10 or 15 minutes. I'd pretend like I was going to the bathroom, make a beeline over, grab another slice. Sometimes if there was nobody around, like if it was like a Friday before a holiday and there's nobody around, I could probably get 2 on a plate with a napkin over top to hide what I was taking, or pretending like it was my first time in there. And then like, by the time I had had enough, I would go back in there and I'd, take like one of the butter knives and I'd scoop up some of the frosting. Cause then like you'd have the people that would eat the cake and they would like just scrape all the frosting off, which is just absolutely terrifying. So in my, what I would do is I just go up with a butter knife, scoop up the frosting, and yeah, that's my story.
That sounds so good.
That was 400-pound Gary, who was out of breath, had all kinds of health ailments, and is in my rear view. Even though I talk about it, even kind of jokingly and fondly, that person is in the rear view at the moment. So I am not sneaking big hunks of frosting out of my office anymore.
R.I.P. old Gary.
Yes, R.I.P. He's still in there somewhere. Like the personality is in there, but I don't do all the crazy eating that I do. But I still have an eye for good stuff, and once in a while, I indulge. I am of the belief that you cannot just say everything's on restriction and you can't have this and that. You have to indulge a little bit within reason, which I will do still to this day. But you were telling me part of your thing, because you just got me in a 5-minute tangent talking about my cake story. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Everybody's like, get back to Stefanie. All right, we're getting there. Relax.
You're probably just like, who is this?
Yeah.
I have like no internet presence. It's fine.
Oh, get out of here. People know who you are. Stop it. You were mentioning around 26, you started to figure out eating right. So walk me into that part of your life.
Well, I had moved back to North Carolina without my husband at the time, and got like super depressed, like waiting to be able to go and get him and bring him over. So I started eating like really crappy, like going to Cookout and getting 2 trays, like real bad, and drinking a whole bunch. Like I became like full-fledged alcoholic for several months.
Well, now hold on. Now, how do you get, if you can say, like, how do you get separated where like your husband's in one place and you're in a different place? How does that work?
I wanted us to move here so that I could be near my family, and we didn't have anybody in Arizona. So every holiday was really depressing. So I was like, let's move to North Carolina, be near my family. And like his sister lives here, and he was supposed to follow me a month later. And then he renewed his lease out there.
So he was in Arizona now. Was this like an internet thing? You met him online kind of deal?
Kind of. He went to high school with my boss.
Okay.
And I saw him on her Facebook, and I was just like, I don't know who this beard is, but he is hot. And I just like threw myself at him, and he just like took it.
Wow. Okay. Well, there you go. Folks with beards.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm saying. What can I say?
All right. Fair enough. So yeah. So he's in Arizona. You're in North Carolina. You're waiting for him to come over. You're eating at Cookout. You're drinking a lot, and continue. Sorry.
So I got like just kind of, when I moved here, I went to the doctor, and I'm just going to throw out like my weight out there. I did a physical before I knew I was going to lose my health insurance, and I was 315 pounds, and I was like, whoa, this is like the biggest I've ever been. Mm-hmm. And then progressed with the depression and eating and drinking. And by the time he had moved out here, I was throwing up on like a daily basis, not like by choice, but it was just part of the morning routine. Like I would just eat so much and smoke and drink until the next morning I was sick every morning. Wow. So I went to the doctor, and she was like, I know we don't talk about your weight. And I was like, that's why you're my favorite. And she's like, but I am concerned for you because in the last year, because it's been, a solid year, she was like, you've put on over 50 pounds.
Okay.
And I was like, so I'd been at that point, I think it was like 368 or something like that. It was kind of ridiculous. Right. And she was like, I really need you to just try. And I was like, all right. And I kind of like pushed it to the back burner. And then I went to like a concert, and I couldn't stand throughout the whole thing. And I was just like, oh, like I am so out of shape that I can't even enjoy a concert.
Who was the concert?
That's when I was like, Chevelle.
Okay.
And so after that, I was like, I'm going to try to walk around a bit. And there's like a little pond, and going around it once is 1/3 of a mile, and there's 3 benches. So every 1/10 of a mile, I would have to sit down.
Right.
And I was like, I am so out of shape. I can't even walk 1/3 of a mile. I can't even do like a full 10th without being in like excruciating pain. So like obviously nutrition had to come into that. Yeah, here we are.
So where are you at right now?
Well, the biggest I got was 380, and now I'm at like 309 because I can't get it together.
No, dude, that's awesome though. You were at 380 something. You're at you said 308, 309. So, I mean, that's over 70 pounds.
Yeah, but I had gotten down to 302, and then I was like really close to getting into those 200s, and I was like, yeah.
All right, but you're 8 or 9 pounds away. Like, I mean, it'll come.
Yeah. Yeah, like I got off track. Like everybody knows, I like split from my husband and stuff. So it was just like I don't know. Things went kind of crazy over the summer.
Well, I
So
mean,
I'm getting on track now.
so would you say that had an effect on your eating? It just kind of made you like go back into bad habits, or?
Yeah, I stopped working out. I started eating whatever I wanted. Like when we announced that we were going to get a divorce, I was just like, well, I don't give a fuck now. So I was like, I'll just eat what I want. I don't care. And then going on dates with people, and it's just eating a whole bunch of bad food. So now I'm kind of like, I'm just going to be single and be chill and
focus on you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing, like, especially in the dating world, it's like, that's like half the fun, I guess, is like going to some, cool place, eating some cool food, you're figuring somebody out, or you're trying to see if like, hey, am I going to see this person again kind of deal. But you're enjoying the food. It's like, because dates, it's not like, oh, let's just meet up at somebody's place or let's just go straight to a movie. Like dinner is like almost always involved because it's just like something people do.
I don't know. Everybody keeps crashing here. I don't know if you saw any of that, my Christmas saga.
Well, I saw it, but I have to pretend like I don't know so we can get a good story out of it. So what happened? And go.
I went on a date with a guy.
Okay.
And then I made the mistake of being like, yeah, come to Charlotte and hang out with me for Christmas. And just like Christmas Eve was the goal. We like went to the gym. He didn't work out at all. He was saying he was going to, and he just watched me. So it got creepy. And we left.
So he's not from Charlotte.
No, he's from South Carolina.
Okay. So he made a little bit of a drive. Okay.
Yeah. And then he wouldn't leave.
He wouldn't leave.
He wouldn't leave.
So how does that work? He's just like, I'm not leaving.
Well, no, he wasn't conscious. Like I went to the bathroom and I came out and he was asleep on my bed with the shoes on and my dog. And I was just like, okay.
What, did you pop a roofie on this guy? You made him pass out? What happened?
I don't know. He just told me he was depressed from his like home life and stuff going on. And I was just like trying really hard to be patient and sympathetic. And I eventually snapped. It was like over 48 hours later. And he was talking about, this is like maybe noon on Christmas Day. And he'd been there since the 23rd. And I was like, so you ready to go home? And he's like, oh, I wanted to go check out Christmas lights tonight. And I was thinking, I'm like, I'm going to have to wait until after dark to get rid of you. And I snapped and I was like, no, it's time to go. Get your bag. We're going. I was not nice about it.
Holy shit. So this guy, he was not trying to go home, I guess.
Not at all.
Did you ever figure out if this guy like had a legitimate gripe with his home, or if he was just kind of hanging around to see what he could get out of the deal? Or
like I guess his parents had split up or something, so it wasn't like a happy Christmas at their place. And
so you put this guy on the street and he's all depressed. What's wrong with you?
God, I tried, Gary. I tried my patience.
You could have at least given this guy like a solid hug, be like, it's gonna be okay, man.
Listen, that was a 2-day hug.
Well, apparently if he's just out, he's unconscious, in your house for a couple of days.
Yep. And then me sleeping on the couch too. Cause I was like, I'm not about to share a bed with a stranger.
Well, that is kind of valid. We don't know what could happen there.
No, I was like, I've only known you for less than a week. I was like, well, I guess I'm sleeping out here. Enjoy that bed.
That's next level. I mean, I would have told him, hey, look, you need to get your ass on this couch. Like, if you're going to stay here, you need to get your ass on this couch. Like, this is my bed. This is where I sleep.
Oh, yeah. I had to like burn those sheets.
Jeez, he stunk too, huh?
Yes. Oh, man. I just feel like a bully now, so I'm just going to stop.
Wow.
It just was not good.
Yeah, let's look at this from 300 feet up. So you met this guy online. He pours his heart out to you. He's having a depressing time at home, and you're like, you got to get the fuck out. He falls asleep at your house. He's on your bed, and now you want to burn the sheets. You say the guy stinks. Like, dude. No.
Well, I don't really, sounds really mean, but he had some sort of skin issue too, like psoriasis or something. So there was just a lot of flakes.
Oh boy.
Like everywhere. So I really did want to like burn the sheets. Like I just was like, oh my God. Like I went and looked at my bed and I was like, I'm just going to just destroy these. I bought new sheets actually after he left.
I hope they weren't like high quality, like silk or satin type sheets he had to burn up or something.
No. Yeah, no, I'm too cheap for that.
That would have sucked.
Yeah.
Wow. Boy, you just had the most awesome Christmas.
Yeah, it was amazing. I wouldn't.
How do you know this guy wasn't going to be the sugar daddy for you?
Oh, for sure. No, he was not. I mean, I pay for every date, so I know like from the get, like what it's going to be.
What if you were secretly on like one of those hidden camera things where like he was like a millionaire, but pretending to be like broke and just like it was a social experiment to see what you would do. And like he pops out like, surprise, you win $50,000. Like, what if it was that?
Then trust me, I would have passed that test with flying colors.
Okay.
Until day 3. Like the best part was that he told me that he had his own money before he came out here. He said he had like $100 or something for his spending. Right. And then he was like, let's go to Walmart. All right, go to Walmart. And he puts all this stuff on the conveyor belt and then has me pay for it. And I was like, oh, okay.
You got to be shitting me.
Yeah, no, I wish. It was like a whole bunch of like beef jerky and stuff.
What?
Yeah. And then he's like, oh, I want to go to this shop. And he tells me like where to drive. And I'm like, okay, whatever. He takes me to like a piercing shop. And he's like, I need a new nipple ring. And I was like, what?
The fuck?
And it turned out he only had $5 to his name. So he was expecting me to buy him a nipple ring. And I was like, Feliz Navidad, but no. Like, it's not happening.
And what does a nipple ring go for? I would not know.
I think it was like $12.
Oh my God.
It was definitely more than he had.
So he said he had 100, but in reality, he only had 5.
Yep.
You got to be shitting me.
Yeah, because he told me like the last thing. He's like, well, I gave it to my dad because he was living with his parents. So he's like, I just gave the money to him to help out with some bills. And I was like, oh, that's nice. But why did you tell me you had it?
Yeah.
But yeah.
So like, what did he, I'm trying to figure out like what he came up there, like expecting that like he was just going to have a free house and board and food and everything.
Yep. Free holiday.
A free holiday.
Mm-hmm.
With some stranger.
Well, the coolest stranger.
Well, obviously we know that, but like, does he know that?
He should have. He should have known that.
What could he have done to pull the nose up on this thing? Let's figure it out. We'll call him right now. We'll 3-way. Let's see if we can figure this thing out.
It's like you wouldn't understand a word he said too. Like I've talked to him on the phone and it is the worst. Like he just mumbles everything. So he'd be like, man, that's cool shit. Yeah. Like that's all he ever said is cool as shit.
So he's a King of the Hill character.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like guy Boomhauer, man. I'm right on down there, man.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So you were dating Boomhauer's little son or cousin or some shit.
I miss it fondly.
Wow. What a, do you have any more fun? I feel like this could be like a series in itself if you have more of these stories.
Oh yeah. Bad dates. Yeah, absolutely. You want just the last month of bad dates? Cause I got that for you.
You have multiple?
Absolutely.
Damn. What kind of trouble are you getting into over there?
Real trouble. Like the guy I met at the gym, like got on the treadmill next to me, thought he was cute, realized he wasn't. He came over and like the first time like I went out with him, we went and got ice cream. It was cute. And then he comes over unannounced, 10 p.m. with a gun on him.
Oh.
And he's like, I was like, why the hell do you have a gun on you? Plus, why are you here? And he's like, oh, well, you live a bad neighborhood. And I was like, well, then you don't need to be in my neighborhood. I didn't ask you to come here.
Yeah, it's valid.
So anyhow, he was like trying to like hold my hand and get all kissy. And I was like, no, you need to get the hell out. Because I was like, this just feels super rapey when you have a gun on your hip.
Yeah, you kind of don't know how that's going to work out.
Mm-mm.
Like, I don't watch Lifetime, but my mother watched it, and I've gone to her house, and I've seen it be on the TV, and I know what kind of shady shit goes on.
Oh, Lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was a customer that posted about that I thought he was cute from across the counter, that's a lot of the things. Is I think I might need to get glasses, but
Jesus,
he was. Well,
you're very picky, Stefanie.
Yes, I am,
All
and I
right,
should be. But
fair enough.
yeah, he
She
was
owns
across
it.
the counter, and I thought like, oh, he might be, like maybe 40, and turned out he was 51. And
Okay.
he has lived a full life, and it sounds like a lie, I swear to God, but he was in the FBI 6 years ago, like up until 6 years ago, and so he's really fun to hang out with. But he
So,
taught me how to get out of handcuffs this weekend, so that was fun.
all right.
He's showing me how to get out of all these restraints and stuff, like a safety class, and he said he's going to show me how to pick locks.
Does he have a restraint fetish? I mean, what's going on here?
Oh no, he teaches a class
Okay.
to like realtors and stuff in case you get kidnapped.
Okay. Well, this might be a good thing for you.
But he's 51.
All right. Well, does he have money?
Yeah.
We're trying to match it. We're trying to match you up here. You said you're trying to get through law school and all this stuff. So I'm just trying to look out for you. I mean, we're friends. So, that's what friends do. They look out for each other.
And he's very smart, like the smartest person I've ever gone on a date with. Like I just wish I found him attractive.
All right. Well,
you know what I mean?
Age is only a number.
Is it though?
Sure. Well, when you're in the adult age, yes.
Like my mom's 56.
All right.
It feels inappropriate.
So what you're saying is this guy could basically be your father.
Oh, absolutely, he could.
All right. Well, maybe he wants you to refer to him as his father. I don't know what's going on here. Look, I mean, if he's nice, if he treats you right, if you had found him attractive, would you give him a shot?
No, because he's kind of skeevy too.
All right. Well,
yeah.
On to the next one.
It's okay. He's fun to hang out with.
So this is kind of like a hangout.
Dude, listen.
Yeah.
I went to hang out with him at his house. And this is just like, let's just tell everybody because I haven't even posted about this because it's so embarrassing.
Oh, okay. Well, why not?
I went to this dude's house and I started drinking.
All right.
And very bad because his son was there. Next thing I know, I was drunk as a skunk on his kitchen floor, just sitting on his kitchen floor, licking a butter knife covered in mayonnaise.
All right.
Not my finest hour. And he was just like, we made you a bed in this room with like all these bookcases. He's like, we made you a bed. You lay here. And I was like, no, I can sleep in my car. It's fine. He's like, no, you lay here. And then he like closed the door.
Now, is this guy a drinker as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So he understands drinking and what kind of fun happens or whatever when you start drinking.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So at least my point is he's not some older dude that's like looking down on you for drinking like he was drinking too. He gets it.
Well, the next day when we got up, he was like, eat this, whatever, sober up like a little bit. And then he was just like, so I think it's time for you to start your day. And that was the nicest way I've ever been kicked out of a place.
That's a very like fatherly type thing to say. I think it's time that you start your day.
Yeah.
So have you heard from this guy again?
Oh yeah, because I was there on Saturday.
Okay. All right. So he's having you back.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys have a dialogue going on. What's the problem?
He's 51.
You keep hanging out with him though. What's the,
I know.
So if it's he's 51, then why are you still hanging out with him?
Because he's smart.
Okay. Well, I'm assuming he enjoys your company. That's why he still has you around, right?
Maybe. I don't know, man. I am pretty much the worst.
I would pretty much disagree. So I mean, obviously there's got to be something here though, right? I mean, you're still going and hanging out with the guy. He watched you eat mayonnaise off of a butter knife on his kitchen floor and he invited you back. Like
he was also, he's a psych major or was a psych major back in the day. So I do like, I've told him to analyze me. That was a mistake. It's a bad horoscope situation. So I just kind of like, I like to go over there and like learn about myself in the creepiest way. Cause I'll just be like the last time I saw him, he called me a manic depressive and I was like, really?
Wow.
I was like, tell me more. What gives you that impression? Because he doesn't know very much about me. So I'm like, what vibe am I giving off to people? And he just tells me to my face, and I kind of like it.
So what he is saying speaks to your truth, in other words.
In a creepy, creepy way, yes.
All right. So you're drawn in.
Like a moth to a light bulb.
All right. Well, you guys start out as friends. You know, maybe you'll see what happens. This guy could be the best thing for you if he calls you out on your stuff, you know?
Well, my mom just had a birthday, and she was like, I can't believe I'm 56. And I was like, and the guy I'm dating is 51. She was like, no, you're not.
Hey,
so already no approval by the family.
Well, I mean, I look at it like this, you know, Heather and I, we have an 8-year difference. You know, we got together, we were both of obviously legal age, but what I'll say is like, you know, there is age differences. And, you know, I think that, you know, the age should not matter. If you guys get into a situation where you're clicking and you're of legal, you know, age, what's the problem?
I think when you just know it's not the one, it's not the one.
All right, well then stop hanging out with him, or say this is just my buddy. We're buddies. We're friends.
We're best friends.
All right, well there you go. See, you got a friend.
I got some clarity. It's good therapy.
Yeah, I think podcasting is great therapy. Honestly, I really do.
I feel like mine would be pretty. If I had one, it would be a little like annoying for people because I'd probably just talk about dating.
That literally could be an entire podcast on its own.
Just hashtag why Stephanie's single.
There you go. You just gave your podcast a name. Now get it started.
Ah, dang it.
I think that, you know, you could potentially start a podcast with all the kind of stories you have. I don't see any good reason why not. It may be good therapy for you just to talk into your phone and do podcast stuff.
I don't know how you start doing these things. I really don't.
What do you mean?
Like, how do you just like start talking?
Like the technical bit of it, or how do you decide I'm just going to start talking, or like, what do you mean?
Yeah, no, like if you do one by yourself, what do you talk about? How do you even know where to go?
I talk about me.
Oh, well, there you go.
My name's on the goddamn podcast, Stephanie.
That's true.
I mean, I prefer to talk to people like you. But there are times where I do solo podcasts and I keep them short, you know, 15 minutes or less. You don't want to drone on for an hour by yourself. I've tried that. It's not a lot of fun. But you know, 15 minutes or less, maybe 20 if the story warrants it. But yeah, you just hit record and you start talking.
I'm just now like replaying in my head all the things that we've talked about. And I'm just kind of like, oh no.
What do you mean? Oh no.
Like people are going to hear this.
Yeah.
And go drunk Stephanie on the kitchen floor. That's great.
They're going to say, man, this Stephanie sounds like some badass. I need to follow this girl. How would they do that, by the way, if they want to follow you?
At Bib Belly. You're
not going to change the name like 500 more times, are you? You've kept this one for a while. I'm very proud of you.
You made fun of me for changing it because I changed it like 6 times before meeting you.
You did. I gave you shit for it.
Yeah, so I was like, crap, I'll stick with one. And I've put this one on the race bib for the Flying Pig for 2020. So I was like, I got to keep it at least until the Flying Pig is over.
Okay, well, thankfully, this podcast is going to be heard. I think it's sometime in March. So that's before the Flying Pig. So at least I know that by the time this comes out, you will have not changed your name.
Yeah, it confuses people. So I kind of want to keep it. Because I was just like, what is this?
What is it, by the way? Bibbed Belly.
Belly bibs.
Oh, yeah, like for the races?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you would get that, Gary. You're a racer.
Not by choice. Well, I mean, I guess by choice, but it's not my like number one favorite thing in the world.
Running's not your favorite thing in the world? Are you crazy?
I am. I do the races because they're hard.
Hells yeah, they are.
They're very difficult. So I end up jogging and walking most of them. I do not run whatsoever, except for like the first minute. So I can look cool And then like I rest right before I hit the finish line. And then I come like a bat out of hell through the finish line. So it looks really good on a race photo. Like I'm just being honest.
I run for maybe one block and then the rest of it is struggle.
Yeah.
And I like watch the crowd move ahead. And then I have a police escort for the rest of the way. And I feel really fancy.
We'll see. That's usually like, yo, I'm some badass chick. Like I get a police escort. What's up?
I can't even tell you of like the 14 races, how many times I came in like dead last.
Hey, but at least you finished.
That's true.
It is important to finish.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So 2020, what are some of your goals? What are you looking to do this year?
My New Year's resolution is to make a whole bunch of quilts.
Okay.
So like when my ex-husband lived here, I couldn't have like my sewing machine out and everything because it was just too much stuff everywhere. So now I've actually gotten to take out my sewing machine, re-enter my hobbies and have fun.
Oh, well, imagine that.
So, yeah, like I can make a quilt in about a day. Like they're not hard. They're pretty quick. So my goal is to make one per month and then donate them at the end of the year to like this teenage halfway house that my boss has a connection with. So it'll be fun.
You went the nice way about it. I was like, oh, she's going to sew up some badass quilts and sell those bitches on Facebook Marketplace. What up? About to get rich.
No, nobody wants to buy my quilts. I have like a really badass quilt. It's like a Tetris thing.
Yeah.
And nobody wanted it.
You got to go on Etsy.
Dude, Etsy is like banned me.
Why?
Because I owe them money.
Oh, okay. Well, Shopify.
What is that?
Shopify. It's actually what I used to run my store on before I switched to Teespring. But Shopify, they're like they're like the world leader of e-commerce. You create a site and you sell stuff. You got bigcartel.com, you got storeenvy.com, all kinds of good stuff.
Well, if I've learned anything from my like lemonade stand version of selling pens on the internet,
yes,
I'm just not very great. Like I'm just not good at selling things.
Neither am I. I'm terrible.
See, like the economics of it, I'm just not good.
Well,
but you've got this whole t-shirt business that everybody loves.
They do, but I'm not very good at selling them because I hate advertising because I don't want people to think I'm like some cruddy salesman. And so I have like this limiting belief about that stuff. So, I mean, I plug it now on the podcast probably a lot more, but like, like Instagram, I try to like refrain from like, I mean, I do it once in a while.
Hard work always wins.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I try to plug it here and there, but I try to be limited with it because I just don't want to be plugging up a storm.
I wore my shirt from you to one of my 5Ks, and I actually got a whole bunch of compliments from like the police.
I love that. You should tell them to holler at your boy and be like, yo, we're trying to buy 50 shirts. What's up?
I did. I was like, my friend makes these.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. You gotta be my hype girl. Go out there and sell me some shirts.
Okay, but I want a hoodie.
Right.
I want all the tie-dye ones.
Well, we don't do the tie-dye anymore.
Gary.
Yeah. The Teespring, they don't do tie-dye stuff. But
okay, well, then I'm just going to make them my own tie-dye. Then I'm going to buy the shirts and tie-dye them myself.
Well, that you can do. That you can do. I will allow that since you're already buying them and, all that good stuff. But no, we switched to Teespring. We were able to lower prices. The shirts are cheaper now than they were before, which is awesome. Better customer service now, better tracking.
Are they as soft as the last one, though?
Yeah.
Okay, because that's important.
Well, of course, yes. I ordered a sample. I was not able to distinguish a difference. So there you go. I order samples before I put them up for sale because I don't want to sell somebody something that I haven't literally seen.
Well, did you go and visit the place that you said makes them in Charlotte from the last one or no?
No, I never made it there. That was the other thing too. I was going kind of broke, like ordering samples of like everything I would put, like one of every type of garment I was putting up for sale. Cause I was like, oh, how does this garment feel?
Oh, so you don't even get a free sample. You have to pay for them?
Yeah. You got to pay for samples. Yeah. I'm terrible at business. I don't know how this shit works.
What do you do, Gary? What is your job?
Like my real job?
Yes.
I work in marketing of all things. I mean, like the job I do has nothing to do with marketing. Like I literally print stuff for people, but yeah, I work in marketing. But you know, I have a passion for the podcast. I have a passion for the t-shirts, and one day this is gonna do something. We'll see what happens.
Isn't it already though?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I mean, it's not like I can just quit my job and do this full time. That is the dream, obviously. Yeah, that is the dream.
My dream is just being a kept woman.
Well, you can do anything you put your mind to. If you want to do it, you can do it.
That's why I hit the gym every day. You slim down and then you find that really good one.
There you go. You see?
Yep.
You're on your way, Stefanie.
Thank you.
Well, so now that you're in the single spot, you're working on you. Safe to say your food is getting back on track. Like everything is good at the moment.
My nutrition has been like on point, like a mofo, which is amazing. Awesome. It is awesome.
You need to self high five yourself.
Yeah, I was like, it's the weirdest thing. I have like no desire to like kill myself with food anymore. It's weird.
But it's awesome.
It is awesome.
You got some of that clarity.
And it's just me. I'm like, all right, I got my frozen chicken breast and my broccoli in the freezer and like just a protein shake every morning. So that's it.
Do your thing.
Yeah, I'm extremely boring now.
Are you tracking? You have like MyFitnessPal or something?
I have it, but I don't use it because I eat the same thing every day.
Okay. What's wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong with it. I think it's great.
You should track it. You should watch it.
I mean, I know what it is. I do it every day.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm only saying because I'm on there and I like to pester people. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
It's good when I want to feel bad.
Okay. All right. All right. So you're getting the food under control. How's your working out going?
I'm trying to be like you, Gary. I'm going in the morning.
Going in the morning, that early morning.
Yep. I'm there 5 to 6.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's not as awesome when I put on my watch in the morning and it instantly goes, Gary's finished all these workouts.
Well, now,
like, thanks, Gary.
Now we're talking about the comparison trap here that gets talked about a lot. We don't need to do any of that.
Not comparing.
We have established that Stefanie is awesome because she's getting her ass up to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning, which is more than what a lot of people do, which is awesome.
I'm saying it motivates me to get out of bed, Gary. It's a good comparison.
Okay. I thought you said it was like trolling you or something.
No, I'm like, man, I really got to get going.
That's the response I normally get. They're like, oh God, Gary, like people that compete against me on Apple Watch competitions are like, you've already completed it by, 5 a.m. They hate my guts.
Yeah. I won't compete with you anymore. I lose every time.
Until you win.
All right. I'm start a competition with you right now. See how that happens.
Let's go.
By the time this clears, it's like, I don't even know.
So safe to say, as we wrap up here, because I know if I don't get out of here and go to some dinner, Heather's going to kill me.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I have enjoyed this conversation, and matter of fact, I'd like to have you back again sometime so we can do updates and all that good stuff. But so safe to say, 2020 is going to be an awesome year for Stefanie.
For sure.
I love it. That's awesome. So at Bib Belly on Instagram, that's where they should go and find you, the wonderful people that listen to this podcast.
Yes. No one's going to know how to spell it. That sounds really weird. It's a terrible name.
It'll be in the show notes. They can click on it. Yeah.
Yes. Click on me.
Give me love. There you go. And especially if you have a beard and you have money and you can pay for her college.
Any one of those things is fine. Beard is preferable, but if you have money or you can just send me to college, I'll take anything.
Well, there you go. We might have just set you up here with somebody. We're bringing people together here on the Gary Cantrell podcast.
Oh my God.
Well, I will tell you, thank you. This has been absolutely awesome. I had a feeling when Kaitlyn recommended you, I'm like, yes, this is going to be awesome. And it absolutely was. And I have a feeling that people will be in your DMs saying how awesome this was. So.
Yay.
Yay. There you go.
Yay.
So that means we have to do this again at some point. So maybe towards the end of the year, we'll see, kind of, when you have some news stories to tell, and we'll see how that goes.
We'll do a in-person one when you're here in Charlotte. How about that?
I like that because it'll sound even better. Not that this one sounds bad, but it'll sound even better.
There you go.
All right. That you're on. And thank you so much for agreeing to do this. This was really fun. I really enjoyed this.
Yay. Thank you.
All right. Big thanks to Stefanie for coming on the show. I really enjoyed our conversation. Again, follow her on Instagram at BibBelly. It's linked in the show notes, of course. And don't forget to subscribe on Patreon if you'd like to receive this weekly show 5 days early. Patreon.com/Gary Cantrell is the place to do that. That's going to do it for me for this week. I will talk to you guys again very, very soon. Thanks so much for listening.